Good evening, everyone, and welcome to our regular meeting. And of course, this is the last meeting of our four-year term. So I will now call the meeting to order. The agenda is there before you. Can I have a motion to approve, please? Moved by Deputy Mayor Woodford, seconded by Councillor Crawley. All those in favour? Motion is carried. Minutes of the meeting from August the 19th. Are there any errors or omissions? Okay. Business arising? No business arising. Correspondence, Madam CAO, any correspondence?
Nothing that hasn't been filtered through committee.
Through committees. Okay, thank you very much. And now we'll move on to the updates, starting with planning and development. Deputy Mayor Woodford, you're up. And I acknowledge the absence of Councillor Windsor, who couldn't be here for other reasons.
Good evening, everybody. The Planning and Development Committee, we met on September 10th via Zoom with all members in attendance. We did have a short agenda. We had 5 applications that we discussed. We have 4 that are moving forward for motion this evening. Other than that, we did discuss a deadline for applications. And that's the really important piece tonight that we wanted to get out to the public, was that any applications coming in for planning and development, there will be a deadline now of 3 p.m. on Monday of the planning and development meeting. So that allows staff to review all the documentation and have it together to be presented at the meeting for everyone to review. So we'll get that information out on our social media sites as well, and it will be added on the application as well. We just have to come up with a way to let everyone know when the planning and development meetings are happening so they can get their applications in. I'm going to go right now into the motions because that was it for the update. So first and foremost is our permits. Be it resolved to table and approve the attached permit listing. 24 permits were issued from August the 8th to September the 10th, 2025. Permit number 08-0237-25 to 09-0263-25 and includes permits for residential driveway, extension and paving, general repairs, residential and commercial, accessory building, roadside vending, fence, seniors complex, and patio. So moved.
Moved by Deputy Mayor Woodford, seconded by Councillor Crawley. Further discussion? If not, all those in favour, against, motion is carried.
The next is a residential build in an RMD zone. The location is the Valley. Be it resolved to approve the above application in principle subject to the town's municipal plan and development regulations. So moved.
Moved by Deputy Mayor, seconded by Councillor King. Further discussion? If not, all those in favour, motion is carried.
The next is for the town centre as the zoning for roadside vending vegetables at the Star of the Sea parking lot. Be it resolved to approve the above application in principle, subject to the town's municipal plan and development regulations and the mobile canteen and vendor regulations. So moved.
Moved by Deputy Mayor Woodford, seconded by Councillor Tilley. Further discussion?
That area that we had, it was always some vendor there selling vegetables.
Years.
Yeah, for many, many years. Great service, especially when we get the fresh vegetables. And we did get, the applicant did get approval from the Star of the Sea to be there. Okay?
Okay. All right, if there's no more questions, all those in favour, those against, motion is carried.
The next is a residential build it's a retaining wall in an RMD zone at 9 Saul Drive. Be it resolved to approve the above application in principle, subject to the town's municipal plan and development regulations. So moved.
Moved by Deputy Mayor Woodford, seconded by Councillor Crawley. Further discussion?
There was a discussion within the group with regards to our retaining wall policy, and this met all of the regulations that we have there. or the bylaw that we should say what it is now. So everything was fine with that retaining wall.
Okay, great. All right, all those in favor? Contramanded? Carried.
And the last is for a quarry development permit extension. The zoning is a watershed area, and the location is on the Trans-Canada Highway. Be it resolved to approve a one-year extension to a quarry development permit, subject to the town's municipal plan and development regulations. So moved.
Moved by Deputy Mayor Woodford, seconded by Councillor King. Further discussion?
With this application, if you can recall, last year we did approve it. There's no change in the footprint of what they're doing. It's in the same area. It's just that the permit was only issued for 1 year. We did send out our Director of Public Works to look at the site to make sure that they were, managing it properly in accordance with our agreement, and everything looked good on the site. So therefore, we recommended extending it for another year.
And we didn't have any complaints or concerns to my knowledge?
No.
None?
No.
So, okay, so they're operating in compliance with
Yes,
the
they are.
terms and conditions of
And
their
it's no
application.
extended area other than what we approved last year. Same.
Okay, good. Thanks for clarifying that. Any questions, comments? If not, all those in favor, those against, motion is carried.
And that's it for planning and development. Mayor?
Okay, thank you so much. Now we'll move on to recreation and community events. So we have Councillor Tilley and Councillor King.
Okay, I'm trying to do everything backwards here tonight, a little bit slower. I just wanted to give a quick update. Our recreation our recreation committee didn't meet in last month. We just never seemed to find time in our schedules to get there. But I do have some updates. We do have our fall program, which is getting out in swing, and of course, fall comes to fun activities like our Harvest Hoedown and our Tasty Trail that I think we all love so much. And one that's near and dear to my heart that I know myself and my partner here next to me had a great fun in last year was the Spook Truncular. And I know Sadie was tickled to death with it as well. So it was it's a great event that I love seeing all the kids out and getting community together. Any reason I can see to get the community together is always a great thing. So that will be coming in the next few days, and look for your social media and you'll be able to see your dates and updates on that one. We also have the full fall activity guide that we're working on, and that will be out soon. So keep an eye on your mailboxes and social media again for that, and that will give you the full snapshot of what is coming for the fall. We also, of course, have our seniors programs now getting started up again for the year. As our nights get longer, and I should say our daylight gets less, it's nice that we have some programs where you can actually get out. So our seniors Zumba Goal Active for Life will be resuming in October, and the registration for that will be on September the 25th at 9 a.m. here at the Town Hall. So again, that's a great program that everybody takes advantage of, so we're looking forward to that again. Did I miss anything, Councillor King? No? Okay.
Councillor Tilley and Council, just to clarify a point that you just raised about the guide.
Yes. I forgot about that. Thank you.
Yeah, the town and the general public were advised yesterday, because Canada Post themselves were advised yesterday, that effective immediately, that there will be no more community or neighborhood mail in the mailboxes. That includes all town correspondence, such as the guides that we put out for various events and whatnot, and any flyers, anything, where they're prohibited from doing that until further notice. And that's all we know at this point, but as of now, even our community guides will no longer be permitted to go in mailboxes.
And thank you for that,
So we're
Mayor.
going to have to
I did
find
forget.
ways and means of connecting and communicating with the residents and families to let them know exactly what events are coming up, what's entailed, the dates and everything else, and I'm sure that our Director of Recreation will certainly find a way around that to ensure that we can get messages and all this relevant, good information about recreation and the events coming up out to the public.
And again, we have our social media, we have our town website, and for special events, we always have our near and dear to my heart, our Voyant system. So again, we have a few options to get out there, but again, just keep an eye, and hopefully this little interruption we can in the post will be over soon, and we'll be able to get the guides out, because I know mine is always on my fridge, so I can keep an eye on what's coming.
Absolutely, yeah.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much for that update, and now we'll move on to Infrastructure and Public Works. So in the absence of Councillor Windsor, we have Councillor King.
Well, the Infrastructure and Public Works Committee met on September the 4th. Present were Director of Corporate Affairs, Marie Searle, Director of Infrastructure and Public Works, Robert Stacey, Mayor Gobi, and myself. The CAO and Councillor Windsor sent their regrets. First of all, at the meeting, we talked about snow clearing on Fury's Wood Path. Yes, it's fall and winter is coming. The lawnmowers are put away. The snow blowers will soon be out. But anyway, a resident was interested in getting it probably plowed a little farther. It will remain status quo. That was the decision at the meeting. There'll be no extending the snow clearing. There was also discussion about some culverts on McGrath's Road. We discussed it, and a motion is forthcoming today to have those culverts installed. With regard to our treatment plant, we're talking about cleaning out the lagoon. So they have to do clarification on that first, and that's being done by Stantec. And when that is finished and approved, then parties will clean out the lagoon for us. The water supply is also under discussion. We were supposed to have a test well installed by September the 15th over under George Cove Mountain, but in talking to the CAO, that's been extended to September the 30th, am I right? So hopefully by September the 30th, we'll have a new test well drilled. And as we said, winter is coming. So you'll notice that the school buses are on the road, so we've taken up all the
Speed bumps.
speed bumps. They're gone in most places. There's a few others remaining on side roads, and they'll be taken up by the end of October. And we're also looking at getting additional speed bumps for next year. The park has been prepared for winter as well. The dam is up, and there's been fencing installed along the deck so that someone won't fall into the river. Even though the park may be closed, it doesn't stop people from going in there in the evenings or even in the daytime to walk about. And the other issue was some boulders. There was some safety concerns with some boulders on Marine Drive. And just after our meeting, the CA director went down and met with the contractor, and that has all been cleared up.
Oh, good.
Yeah, they've all moved and put in a safe place. So that's the end of it for our Public Works today.
Okay, thank you very much. Any questions, comments? Oh, motion, Councillor King.
Oh, the motion, sorry about that. Be it resolved, the Town of Holyrood approve the installation of 2 drainage culverts at 21 McGrath's Road according to the Town of Holyrood development regulations.
So, moved by Councillor King, seconded by Deputy Mayor. Further discussion? If not, all those in favour? Motion is carried. Okay, thank you, Councillor King, for that update. Now we'll move on to Economic Development. Deputy Mayor, you're up.
The Economic Development Committee, we did not meet since the last public meeting. due to some unavailability of members on the committee. But we do have a few little updates to provide. One, the Conception Bay Area Chamber of Commerce is hosting its annual golf tournament on Thursday, September 18th here at the Willows. It's a great opportunity for local businesses to do some networking and get out there and play a game of golf. It's 8 a.m. to 1:30 p.m. is the scheduled time. You can register on the Conception Bay Area Chamber of Commerce website. And OHI, or Oceans Holyrood Initiative, will be sponsoring the luncheon as we do every year for that event. So keep a watch for that, and you know, if you can get a few people together and play some golf, I think it's a great idea. Just wanted to update you guys as well on the status of what's happening in economic development within the town. There has been a lot of inquiries, a lot of business, commercial inquiries regarding opportunities here on Holyrood. You know, we don't go out and specifically give that information until, you know, we have an application and that application goes through council and council decides on you know, we put it to motion and council decides on it from that point. You know, that's when it gets released to public. But it's good to know, I think the public should know that there's a lot of things happening here in the town, business-wise. And you know, hopefully people will keep that interest and come in and talk to our CAO and staff here in the town and make things happen. Let's put it that way. And the other thing that we wanted to bring up was, and we've talked about this in the last few public meetings that we had, is our business session that OHI is hosting, a business networking session at the Marine Institute. We're hoping for sometime mid-October. We don't have a date from the Marine Institute, the launch yet, in order to host the event, but we are working with them to get a date set, and that's around Small Business Week. So the plan is to invite, you know, everyone within our community, you know, other stakeholders that are outside the community, you know, other government, I don't know, agencies, but funding opportunities, things like that, to get everyone together. So stay tuned on that. Once we have that finalized, that will go out to everyone in the business community. Other than that, that's it for economic development.
Okay, thank you very much. Any questions on that? If not, we will now move on to public safety. So we have Councillor King and Councillor Tilley.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Just to let you know, I talked to Councillor Windsor tonight, and he told me I could have his time. Just to let you know. Anyway, this is also our last public safety meeting for this term. We had our public safety meeting on September 8th. Those people in attendance was Councillor Tilley, the Fire Chief, Mr. Rideout, Maurice Cyril, filling in for our CAO, and absent was the Mayor. Okay, so we covered a lot of points during that meeting. The first one was the fires, and the Chief wants to make sure that, and it will go out like on a public service announcement with regards to the area down there that was burnt, for people to stay out of that particular area because the fire was underneath the ground. There's roots everywhere, so people shouldn't be in there roaming around for their own personal safety, right? And I'm sure there'll be more to follow after that. The emergency management plan, the fire chief is still working on that one. After the month of August, there's probably going to be a little bit of adjusting to the plan for obvious reasons, right? And that's so as he gets that fulfilled, it'll be passed on to council. Everybody can have a look at it, make any recommendations or question anything that was there. And then once the final document is cleared to go, then that will be what we will be following for emergency management in the future. Okay, so all good. Fire chief is on the ball and doing an excellent job. The other point that continues to come up all the time is dirt bikes and ATVs, right? And I mean, you can count on both hands the number of times that people in this room have been talking about ATVs and dirt bike safety. We had an incident there not too long ago where a person was hit and injured, and we wish him all the very best in his recovery. But people need to understand, right? And I don't know how many times we have to say this, but traveling on Route 60, traveling on Kennedy's Lane, traveling on Northside Road in a dirt bike or an ATV is illegal, right? And if you get caught, which you should, you could lose your bike, you could lose your ATV, depending on what age you are and insurance and all these other things. Your parents could be charged, you could be charged, so there's a whole slew of different things that can happen over the sake of traveling on the roads, right? Not counting hitting somebody. You know, it's bad enough as it is, but it could have been a lot worse, right? I mean, the person on the dirt bike could have been seriously hurt or worse. And if he ran into a vehicle, a car or a truck, the whole thing could have been much harder, okay? So people need to understand. People need to be educated. The RCMP need to probably get out there and be more forceful. And we all know that the RCMP can't chase them. And they know that. But there's other ways of catching these people. You just got to be a little more imaginative, because the RNC can do it down in Pooch Cove on the Balleen line and those places, so we should be able to do it here. And it also, there's an obligation on parents as well, and the town, and we're trying to do as best we can, and we can't chase them, and we can't catch them, so it's up to the RCMP to try to sort this problem out, because it's not getting any better. It's actual, in actual fact, it's getting worse. Okay? On Saturday, I was down at the coffee shop, and I sat there for about maybe 40 minutes. And in that length of time, I counted probably about a dozen ATVs, dirt bikes, and side-by-sides all coming in, gassing up, going into the store, getting a coffee. But everybody that was there was following the rules, right? So we can't turn around and say, we're going to ban ATVs from Holyrood, or all-terrain vehicles, just use all-terrain vehicles. Because all you're doing, well, first of all, you're taking business away from businesses here within the town, and also you're punishing the people who are following the rules, which makes absolutely no sense, right? The same as people were talking about shutting down the ramp down in Seal Cove. Why would you do that, right? You're punishing the people who are following the rules. The people that are not following rules don't care about the trailway. They don't care about the ramp, because they're going to do it anyway. Okay, so we need to take those things into consideration. The other one that came up was the speed cameras. I know that the CAO is looking into it as well, and that because the reason being, in the next probably a couple of weeks or so, the way that they're going, there's going to be a brand new stretch of pavement all the way from the cemetery there all the way past my place. They're speeding. They were speeding before. Okay, so what do you think they're going to be doing now when they got this beautiful big black stretch of road and it's all one line? It's like driving across Saskatchewan, right? You know, so I mean, we need to try to be one step ahead of all these people, and I think that's what we will end up being, one step ahead of them. The other one is the radon kits. The CEO's got some information with regards to the radon kits. We're going to get 100 kits, okay? And the plan is there will be an information session on the 19th of November of this year, to be confirmed later on with regards to timings, because they may change a little bit. The distribution week is going to be from the 20th of November to the 28th of November. And then the collection week is going to be March the 9th to the 13th in 2026. And the reason being for, they do the test in that particular time, because we all know that is when your house is the most sealed up and you can get the most accurate information. The only thing that we would ask people is, you know, if you're serious about using the kit and getting the information, then by all means, get a kit. But if you just want this because it's a shiny little object and you're part crow, right, then leave it where it is and let somebody else take it who's going to use it, right? That's all we ask. We don't want anything else. We just want people to take them, use them, and the information comes back is completely private. Use Councillor King over there because she's across. If she gets a kit, she will be the only person getting the information from her particular house. The only thing that the town will get will be a percentage of the 100 kits. To just say, for example, 60% of the homes in Holyrood are good to go, and 40% are not. But she will get the information, and that's her information for herself. And then based on what the results are, then it's up to her then to make whatever decisions. If she needs to mitigate the radon or whatever, or her house is fine, that's perfectly good. That's all I have, and I will turn it over now to Councillor Tilley. Thank you.
Well, I guess I just wanted to add my sentiments as well on the ATVs and dirt bikes in the community. I am on the track with my dog, the old trailway. I'd say if not daily, every second day. I am on North Shore Road almost as much. People might notice me as the strange person with the headlamp on because it might be 10 o'clock at night before I get up there. But again, my thoughts and prayers go out to the gentleman that was hurt, and it's truly a sad time. There's a lot of lives affected by that. The people who witnessed it, the gentleman who was involved in the person who was involved in the accident, and the person who was injured. And again, it's a traumatic event, and it's something that we can't take lightly. But I'm also like Councillor King in that 99% of what I meet on the trailways are families. They stop, they have a conversation, they're out with their dogs, they're out for a Sunday drive, and like you go along and they're having picnics. So again, I think we need to find a happy medium. I think this is a provincial problem, not just a Town of Holyrood problem. 2 minutes you can be in Avondale, 4 minutes you can be in, it depends on how fast you're driving. So we can't be saying too it's the Holyrood residents, because it depends on where they came from on the trails. I feel a collaboration needs to be done somewhere with a joint council to get something done with this. But again, that's something that, we continue on to strive with the last 14 months I've been here, that's all we've talked about, and we will continue on. But of course, we also all summer talked about fires, and we talked about fires, getting ready for fires. Me being in the emergency management world, fires are over, and now it's hurricane time. So again, I will continue on talking about having your emergency ready kits ready. Adhere to the weather notices. If the weather notices are saying there's going to be a hurricane, don't go, it's all right, we've been through that before. Take notice of it, be prepared. You had your kit done for when we had our forest fire. Make sure your kit is up to date and is ready to go. And again, I'm the most person that's going to say woohoo about the Void Alert. If you haven't already, please make sure you are registered. If you don't want the garbage clip pickups and the community event stuff, that's okay. Just have the emergency part of it. But again, unfortunately, public safety and emergencies keep rolling over. As Councillor King advised, winter is around the corner, and I am one of them people that can't wait for as much snow the better. So I'm one of them people. Much snow makes wet forest, makes less fires. Okay. On that note,
We'll give you that one.
I will.
Thank you very much, Councillor Tilley. If I could just add to the comments both of you just made regarding the quads and the ATVs. Today, on my daily rounds, when I travel around the community, I happened to see a friend of mine that was in his yard, so I stopped because we all recognize the concerns from residents over on North Side that are pretty much the most directly affected because they're very close to the rail bed. And anyway, I said this is an opportunity now for me to have a chat. So I got out and I had a chat, started to chat with the gentleman. And then within 5 minutes, there was another couple came along out for a walk. So they joined in on the conversation as well. So here was 3 of us on side of the road, on North Side Road, having a wonderful chat about the issue that they're experiencing and how it's affecting their daily lives in terms of, dirt bikes traveling on the the north side road in a very dangerous and reckless manner. A lot of us hear what's happening, but they actually see it from their windows, from their own homes. And they shared their stories with me, and I listened, and I took notes immediately after we met, and they were very open, they were very direct, and they were very, they were very opinionated on how they felt and how many residents living on North Side feel about this issue right now, because they're nervous and they're scared of what they're seeing in terms of the dirt bikes that are driving at excessive speeds on North Side Road. And they're afraid of, number one, the young operators themselves for their safety. They're concerned about the safety of pedestrians, and they're afraid that it's going to eventually cause a vehicle accident. And they put a lot of good things in my ear for consideration. Like I said, I've taken notes, and at the appropriate time, I will forward them on to the town, and hopefully, as Councillor Tilley just said, we have to find some common ground here. It is a shared trail, and we all know that the volume of usage and the numbers of quads and dirt bikes have been escalating over the last few years in particular, and it's at a point right now where we have to take a different approach to find that common ground that everybody can feel satisfied with. So there's a lot of work for us to do. We have been working on this during our term. The last council had been working on it, and I'm sure that the next incoming council will continue as well. And whether I'm here or not, my notes that I documented today, they will be passed on to the council at that time for consideration. But I tell you, I'm glad that I stopped and spoke to that gentleman and happened to have, to meet this other couple, because they shared their personal stories. And, when you hear it directly from them, it really reaches your ear. I tell you, it gives you something to think about. So, and again, like Councillor King said, 99.9% are very respectful, very courteous. I've seen it myself when quads would come to a stop and allow pedestrians to walk past. They'd give a wave to say thank you, and then they'd carry on their travels. But we do have that problem with a few that's really causing a disruption for so many people in the community and through all areas of the community. But for the most part, it's on the north side of the community, because the homes are so close to the trail bed, and they're affected, and morning, noon, and late in the night. So I'm sure that the next council will continue on with this, and we'll try to find a path forward in trying to reach a solution. So I'm glad that you folks brought up that issue. Okay, now we'll move on to communications. Councillor Crawley.
Yes, good evening, everyone. Communications didn't meet, but of course, in line with communications, we don't always have to meet, because we're always chatting back and forth and emailing. And of course, one of the things with Canada Post not being able to circulate neighborhood flyers, of course, that interrupts our information going out for the fall. However, we like people to spread the word, and we'll get creative, and we'll put up posters around the towns, and we'll put up things, and we'll put out our information, like Councillor Tilley mentioned, put it out on Voyant on the information site, not an emergency, not an alert, right? There's red, yellow, and green. So we can just put out general information, and if you're not interested, you can deselect that option. But if you're like me and want to keep up to date on that, so we'll work around it. We will prevail, and I'm sure it's actually going to be fairly short-lived. So we should be able to get our flyers out when we can. We have a motion here to accept committee reports, but there will be an amendment to that motion. So, be it resolved, the Town of Holyrood accept the committee updates and recommendations with an amended planning and development minutes as presented in the committee reports provided by the various departments and made available to all councillors for consideration. So moved.
Moved by Councillor Crawley, seconded by Deputy Mayor Woodford. Further discussion?
No, everyone gives their reports around the table, and that's basically where the minutes are.
Yep, okay. All right, all those in favor? Those against? Motion is carried.
Fantastic.
And now you're
Couns-
up for
Oh,
corporate
yes.
services.
I was just going to ask Deputy Mayor or Councillor King if you had anything to add for communication. Okay. All right, corporate services and administration. You'll see in a minute when we do the motions, a lot of our Squid Fest expenditures have now come in, right? So that entails in our accounts that have been posted. So it looks fairly significant when we give the numbers, but what you will not see in here is the income for Squid Fest, because right now we're paying the bills and you see the expenditures.
Right.
So I just want to keep note of that it looks kind of scary when you're hearing those numbers, but we don't have the income in here. But income is provided in the general budget when we put it out. So be it resolved, those accounts tabled in the amount of $295,638.85. Check numbers D5057 to D5131 and 47304 to 47478 be approved for payment from the general account. So moved.
Okay, moved by Councillor Crawley, seconded by Councillor King. Further discussion?
Or just,
Yeah.
like that whole amount, that's for all of our expenditures.
Everything. That's absolutely, that's public works and so on, include the capital works.
Perfect.
Money that's going out.
Okay.
Yeah, big, large chunks going out with our sewer projects on the go and our water projects, and our Salmon line got paid off, and we got, yeah. So it is. That's why I said, the number is pretty significant there, but there was a lot of things incorporated.
But there's revenue that'll come later, that'll be reflected in
Right,
this report,
exactly.
right?
Yeah.
Okay. All right, it was moved and seconded. All those in favor? Those against? Motion is carried.
Be it resolved, the Town of Holyrood provide a stipend to the members of the response team who worked tirelessly to protect the town during recent wildfires, providing protection, communication, and monitoring, including water distribution. The dedication of these individuals and fire departments resulted in no loss of property or life. So moved.
Moved by Councillor Crawley, seconded by Deputy Mayor. Further discussion? And I
think
certainly
we're
don't
all-
have any hesitation for
we
the
all
amount
support
of
it.
time and putting their families on hold for days and days on end, morning, noon, and night, because they were literally out all night long doing work that nobody could see. They were steadfast, they were committed, and they were really out to protect the community and the residents, and did a phenomenal job. We cannot speak highly enough of the efforts of the departments and these members that we have, and we're so proud of them, and we're so
Grateful.
so
Grateful,
fortunate
yeah.
and grateful to have these dedicated, true volunteer firefighters in our community, because they came through in spades. And as you just said, Councillor Crawley, we went through 4 days that was very, very anxious, created a lot of anxious moments for many residents, and through their hard work, and they put their lives on the line, because they did a lot of work that was dangerous work. And at the end of 4 days, to have no property structure or no property damage, no loss of structures, and no injuries, job well done.
Yeah, absolutely. And it was a large team effort, and we made sure that everyone was in agreement, and we followed due process.
Exactly. Okay, moved and seconded. All those in favor? Motion is carried.
And our bank book balance is still at $124,011.33. So we still are very healthy for going into our fourth quarter.
Yep.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much, Councillor Crawley. And now we'll do the go-around, starting with Deputy Mayor Woodford.
Nothing for me this evening, Mayor.
Okay, thank you. Councillor King?
Jeez, I'm gonna be up here till 10 o'clock tonight.
No, you won't,
I just got,
because I said before, the lights will be off, we'll be gone. So you'll be speaking to yourself.
it's okay. I'll make believe I'm in the House of Assembly. Nobody there.
Oh, my. Good to end the term, good to end the 4-year term when we're all laughing around the table.
good.
Out of
Oh, it's good.
Nice
No,
chest.
I got 874 points, and that's it.
No, you have 2.
Just got 2. First of all, I just want to bring everybody up to speed with regards to the War Memorial down at the Star of the Sea. I talked to Bob today, and the package is almost ready to go. He's got to go before what's today? Tuesday. I think the executive tomorrow night, and then it goes, and it's. But I just want to make a few mentions of thank yous. I want to. Council Windsor's not here, but he gave me the address for the Cadet Corps. The Cadet Corps put out an excellent letter. So did the town, our MHA, our MP, and the Royal Canadian Legion. All put together some really nice letters. Those letters will be added to the package, and it'll be all sent off to Veterans Affairs, and hopefully the town will be successful, or the Star of the Sea will be successful, because if they're successful, then so will the town. Because it's a war memorial that everybody gathers around. So I just want to say a big thank you to everybody, and I'm sure once they get the word back, hopefully it's good, and we'll let everybody know. The other thing that I'm going to bring up is also is every year for the past 14 years, we've had what is called a uniformed services dinner, and we have it at the mess in Pleasantville, and it's attended by all the different organizations, whether it be police, fire, all the different emergency services, and it's been ongoing now. This year will be the 14th, but in actual fact, it's been ongoing now for 16 years, because we had 2 interludes there because of COVID. But this year the dinner is going to be a tribute to all of the first responders that were involved in the fires, both in Conception Bay North and here and everywhere else. So we're going to send out invitations to people like the Ground Search and Rescue, all the different fire departments from Conception Bay North, the water bomber crews, and anybody that had anything to do with fighting the fires, both here in Holyrood, Conception Bay North, and all the different places. They will all be invited to the dinner. The dinner is, you can't beat this for when it comes to a price. The dinner is $60 and it's prime rib. So you can't get prime rib anywhere for $60 unless you're a good poacher, right? So, and for the $60, well, it's a mixed dinner. It's a mixed dinner, so you can bring your significant other along, which is if you want. And there's a DJ at the end of the dinner. And there's also a professional photographer there, so you and your significant other can get their pictures taken. It's really well done. It's all set up just the same as if you were downtown. Music is also being provided by the Royal Newfoundland Regiment Band. So it's a great evening. So if anybody wants to go, there's about 250 tickets. And it's an excellent evening, and there'll be more to come out on it anyway with the posters, and I intend to send it to all the different fire departments. The fire chief has given me all the mailing addresses for all the different fire chiefs within the area, and I've also talked to Councillor Tilley about it as well, and she's going to make sure that it's spread amongst the ground search and rescue crews. So it should be a great evening, and I encourage everybody to attend. Thank you very much.
Councillor King, if I could interrupt, where did you say this was going
It
to
is
be held?
at the the Surgeon Lieutenant Commander Padden Building down in Pleasantville, where the base was right next to Kitty Bitty Lake.
Right, okay.
Lots of parking. It is probably the safest building you ever wanted to have a dinner in. It is like being inside of a fortress to have a dinner, right? And it's anybody that's ever been in there, it's an absolutely gorgeous mess. And
Gorge.
I don't, I,
That's a
I don't-
play. That's a play on words.
let's rephrase that. It's a mess. It's a mess, but it's a
an
really
oxymoron.
nice mess. It's a mess to be proud of. Anyway, thank you very much.
You still got Steve's time. You still got 25 minutes. Thank you, Councillor King. Councillor Crowley.
I just had to mention that I think before the next, what will be the official public meeting next, there will be the Fire Prevention Week, which is going to look very different, I think, this year, you know, from what everyone went through, and it hit home so closely. So I think, yeah, I'm looking forward to it. Part of the school system, I know we always have them in, and Holyrood Fire Department puts off something, so looking for a big turnout. So that'll be great for this year. I just want to throw that out there because it's October 5th to the 11th
Okay.
is Fire Prevention Week.
Okay, thank you very much, Councillor Crowley. Councillor Tilley. Now, Councillor King, longest-serving councillor in the town, you got the last say after our 4-year term. Now, you have to say something. You're all good. Okay. All right, folks, that is the agenda, and the date of the next meeting is October the 14th at 6 p.m. Could I have a motion to adjourn, please? Moved by Deputy Mayor Woodford, seconded by Councillor Crowley. All those in favour? Meeting stands adjourned.